Hey, it's Grayson with Yankee Bravo Aviation. The plane is an annual, and I thought it'd be a really good time to kind of sit down and talk about what our first annual's been like. Later on in the video, I've gone down and taken some footage of the plane while it was an annual and outlined some of the problems that we have found. Luckily, we haven't really found anything too major, so it's been a pretty good experience so far. We got very lucky. Going back, I would probably do my first year of ownership a little bit different, but that's part of the process and that's part of the journey, is learning about aircraft ownership. There really isn't a book out there for it. Every airplane's a little bit different. Every owner is a little bit different. What's important to me as an owner might not be that important to somebody else as an owner. I tend to be a little bit more of a hypochondriac than most people, and that's okay. I like things to be perfect. I want to make sure that everything's in top notch. And it's just who I am as a person. I like to worry about things, and I like to make sure everything is 100%. Mainly because we live kind of spur of the moment, and I want to make sure that if I need to get in the plane and we're doing a trip, unplanned trip, that it's going to be okay. And I also want to make sure that the plane is going to be okay with my kids in it, with my wife in it, with my friends' kids in it. As an owner, I feel like that is my responsibility to make sure that the plane is 100% at all times. I feel like if you do that, then it is a lot easier to keep up with, and you don't get so overwhelmed with the projects. But our first annual has been pretty smooth sailing. It's we're using a shop down in Greenville, North Carolina, and he's known for being very thorough. And so far, the communication has been great. The experience has been a very positive one, and we've really enjoyed it. One of the unknown surprises that I've kind of come to appreciate is that 3-3 uniform has become a really big part of our lives, and we've missed it the last 2.5 weeks. Bree and I were talking about it today on our way home from North Carolina, and it's like, wow, we really, the plane has really become an essential part of our lives together. So it's kind of one of the silver linings of having it down for a couple weeks. But we'll get it back here soon, and we'll be flying. We've got a lot of fun trips planned for the end of 2022, and then 2023 shaping up to be a pretty cool year too. So we're looking forward to it. So far, kind of want to just talk a little bit about what our process has been like. I took the plane down to Greenville in the middle of July. I spent the entire day going through the logbooks, the entire plane, running it up, putting it through its paces with the mechanic. I talked to him about the squawks. I talked to him about my concerns. Talked to him about the overall goals of the airplane. And anybody that knows me is, it's only a C model, but I want it to be the top running C model out there. I love the plane. It is an integral part of our lives. It is family at this point. So we're going to do everything we can to improve it and make it the best C that we can. And we're really excited to share that journey with y'all as well. One of the things that we did find, and that's why an annual can be so important, is that we don't know if my prop governor has been overhauled in 60 years. Well, 59 years, but who's counting? So we have, that so far that's the biggest gotcha. We can't find it anywhere in the logbooks where it's been documented that it's been inspected or even overhauled or replaced since the plane came out of the factory in 1963. So what we've done is we've sent it off to a shop to have it overhauled. Well, it's going to be bench tested, but we have a funny feeling it's going to need to be overhauled. And at that point, it's going to be taken care of. Other than that, it's been pretty smooth. Later on in the video, I'm going to show you a walk around of everything that we've done. I went down after the plane had been an annual for 2 weeks, took a bunch of footage, and I'd like to share that with y'all as well. But so far, it's been a really positive experience, and we're looking forward to sharing it with you.
Good morning. We are heading into annual. Bree and I decided that it was time. A bunch of little things kind of creeped up, and the main thing is I really just wanted to get the engine looked at thoroughly and kind of diagnose the small vibration we've had the entire time. It's not enough to really be a concern, but it's enough to be annoying. And I know it can be better, so therefore we're going to try to diagnose it. When I was talking to the shop that we're going to be using, we started talking about you know, doing the dynamic prop balance, and he brought up a really good point. And he said, you know, why don't, you know, I really want to kind of address this from a different issue, or from a different approach, and look at other possible causes instead of masking a problem or trying to fix a problem by masking it with the dynamic balance. Let's take a step back and look at everything and possible causes for it. So I really appreciated that approach. Our annual was due in the end of August anyways. It's been super hot lately. We haven't been flying. We don't have any trips planned. So we decided to go ahead and just go into annual a little early. It'll still be done in the beginning of August, so the sign-off will be August as well. So we're not really losing a month, so to speak. And it'll also give us plenty of time if we have to order any parts or anything like that, that we're going to have time to get ready for our big trip at the end of September and October. So I would definitely like to get at least 25, 30 hours on the plane after annual before we take this trip. So, because we're going to be flying across the entire country, and you know, it's a long trip, and we're going to be doing it VFR. So, it was just time. So, but we're super excited, and I'm a little nervous. It's my first annual in this airplane, and we're going to be. You know, we're going to be transparent about the whole process. We'll talk about every issue found, the cost on it, and you know what it means for Bree and I, how we prepared for it, and we'll continue going on from there.
Alrighty, guys, we are down at Greenville, North Carolina at Dillon Aviation. We are 2 weeks into annual, and I came down to kind of get a rundown of everything that was wrong with the plane, anything that needs to be corrected. So good news is nothing major, a bunch of little things. I'll kind of walk through what we found and go from there, so stick around. So one of the main issues we found, and I knew I had it because I had a little bit of a shimmy, it was some of the bushings are worn on my nose gear, which is completely normal for a 60-year-old airplane. While we're up here, and when we say we found little things, we're nitpicking at this point with this U-joint being rusted out. We're going to replace that. Our gasket on this exhaust is going to get replaced. So we're going to relocate some hoses to get better airflow and less vibrations. But other than that, our crankcase breather tube is crushed in, so we're going to rework that. And other than that, very happy with our first annual. None of this stuff really needs to be done, but we're going to do it just so we have everything complete and ready for the next year. I don't want to start a fresh year with a list of things I know need to be fixed. You might as well just get them all fixed now. But this hose is touching where we put the new alternator on, so we're going to relocate this and add a U-joint to it. Or I'm actually not sure how we're going to fix it, but we're going to relocate it so it's not rubbing here. All these little things add up to a smoother flying airplane and less room for issues down the road. So, and the other thing that we found, now we're in here, see this? That is too loose. So we're going to get that taken care of and reworked. So you want to talk about a busy shop. We got all these airplanes. All of these airplanes out here in the ramp are maintenance airplanes. He has other hangars out there at the airfield where he keeps other planes, and he is a busy, busy, busy man. But I can tell you the communication that I'm getting every day, I get an update, things are explained to me, and it's not one of those things where I just get a bill at the end of the day. When I get home this afternoon, I'll do a little bit of a conversation on how things are, how the process has been for me on my first annual, and continue to give updates as it goes forward. All right, guys, a little bit of an update. So you go from flying a Mooney at 167 miles an hour to flying the Tri-Pacer. It's a great little plane. Actually, I enjoy flying a lot more than I thought I would, but definitely wouldn't be my cross-country choice. But we are very fortunate we had someone nice enough to bring us down, and it's a great time building an airplane. Actually, and really did enjoy flying it down. It flies great, so just wouldn't be my first cross-country choice.